deserve praise. Worthy is your name. Worthy is your name. Jesus, you deserve the praise. Worthy is your name.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Please, can you all hear me? Hello. Yeah. So you are welcome to today's youth service. Today we are discussing.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Good evening and welcome to today's youth service. So today we are discussing developing valuable skill sets for a competitive job market. Amen. We are going to look at what it takes to get a job we are interested in, the pathways that lead up to the job. We'll talk about how to apply for the job. We talk about the skills that we need for the job. We talk about how to search for available jobs. And we also talk about how to excel once we get into the job. So I hope and I pray that you will take notes as we journey along. So today we are joined by 5 experts. 5 experts. Please, let's give a round of applause for that. Yes. And they are seasoned experts from all fields. You will find your field in these experts. Amen. So I want to start with the profile of our first expert, and he is joining us from online. His name is Elder Kwesi Mensah Nyakun. He's a lawyer, he's a father, he's an entrepreneur, he's a bilingual translation consultant, and a digital safety advocate. Let's give it up for him. He will join us online, so he will be here to answer for the legal side. Then, joining us upstage, firstly, we'd like to welcome, let me talk about him small. He's from KNUST. He's a senior assistant registrar at the KNUST School of Medical Sciences. Previously, he served at the KNUST e-learning center. He played a key role in advancing online learning initiatives and digital education strategies. He also served as a consultant for the Netwater Digital Diagnostic Study for African Centers of Excellence, working with 5 universities across 4 countries in West Africa. Beyond his consultancy duties, he has also served as a reviewer for the Online Learning Consortium, and his expertise in PBL and online learning has supported curriculum development, faculty training, and the adoption of innovative teaching approaches to improve student engagement and competency-based education. So I'm privileged to welcome for the education sector, Elder Christopher Addo. Let's give him a round of applause. So let's clap as he comes. Let's not stop till he mounts the stage. So he mounts the stage. He's coming. Keep clapping. So he will take the first seat. Welcome, Elder Chris. Next, we are still at KNUST. She's a general manager at the Impact Building. She has a decade of experience in hospitality, including accommodation, conferences, and banquets. This intro is short but impactful. Let's welcome Lady Edna Kennedy. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. So now we've left KNUST. Yes, we've left KNUST. We've entered into the greens. He's a development practitioner, rural and agricultural financing. He has expertise in agricultural value chain development and financing, project management, financial analysis, and risk management, agri-SMEs development and advisory services. He's also a food safety and traceability trainer, and he's involved in coaching and mentoring. Let's welcome Elder Frank Osu Brobe. Let's give him a round. Let's keep clapping. Let's intensify it. Let's keep clapping. Then there's an obvious field, which can anyone guess which field is coming next? We have the health field, okay? So we have Dr. Sandra Owusu-Kwarteng, who is a pediatrician, pulmonologist, and she's a senior lecturer at KNUST, and she'll join us in the course. Oh, she's here. Let's give her a round of applause. So I'm sure if you look through our seasoned guests, including our lawyer, you see that we are well represented. Let's keep clapping. You are welcome. Okay, so once again, you are welcome to our panelists. Can I get a go if our lawyer is also on the line? Yes, so our lawyer is also on the line. So let's begin. So each of you are going to outline the pathway of a career like yours. You tell us what program we have to take in the university. You tell us what jobs we have to get to apply for. And then you also tell us the ranks in which we can rise to get to senior levels and how many years it can take to get there. So can you outline the pathway for us? Starting with Elder Chris Adu.
Hello. Okay, my pathway. It's okay. So I did science, SHS, but I went to a college. So the original green shirt, not the faded one. So from there I went to the university and I did computer science. Afterwards, I did national service. And at the national service, I was doing networking, training, computer stuff. And then we had to move to e-learning. And so they moved me to that side. Then doing my master's, I wanted to do MIS. Those who know MIS is Management Information Science. So I really wanted to be at the IT section. But I didn't go to do MIS at the straight. I went to MBA. So you do the specialty MIS. Now, first year, you are supposed to do all courses, the managerial level, because an MBA, you must be a senior manager, you should be fine. Then, the second year when we were choosing the option, we needed 15. Yesterday, I was telling the teens, 15 to do the specialty. And I think we were 14. I think so. Either 11 or 14. We went to the dean. The dean said the numbers is 14. We need 15. And it's not 15. Therefore, we should choose another option. And so, gradually, I chose operations, logistics and supply chain management, and then I did that one. And then I moved on. So, from there, but I had done other courses. The first course I did when I was doing the national service was financial management, diploma in financial management. That one, I intentionally, I saw the adverts, and I felt I wanted to learn, so I did it. So when I did it, I did well. And then the teacher left. That was the good part. And the owner of the school said I should teach. So I taught the financial management. Then I heard that the guy teaching customer service will be leaving at the end of the year. That was in March. So I quickly registered for the customer service, not to learn, but so that I can do double. If you do double, you teach financial management, you teach customer service. At the end of the day, the money was good enough for me because I wasn't really employed after a service. So I did that one, and I passed. And then thankfully the guy left, and I was teaching that one too. So that's how I did it. Then when I was doing my MBA, the guy teaching risk and insurance left. So they brought me the book, and like Mike said something. Say, I've done MBA. This year, risk and insurance, let me read. So I read it over and over and over. Where I don't understand, I look for. So then I was teaching it. The last day of registration, I made up my mind that, I've taught them. Why not register too? It's a foreign one. So I registered, and I remember we wrote it around Cambridge area, international exams. And then I got my diploma in risk and insurance. Then the others like that. So all the other certifications I did, moving forward, I realized that all of them were shaping. So when I applied to do maybe IT and it wasn't working, I realized that there was an opening for assistant registrar. And the qualification, MBA is MBA, managerial. So I applied. And before then, I had actually written reports, gone for all those things that administrators do. And so thankfully, I got the assistant registrar. And then for that one, your level, you do 4 years. After 4 years, you move to a senior. It's not automatic. There are criteria you meet. You do all those things. So afterwards, and your father really helped me at some point. When I say it's her father, I mean the role of why I got to where I got to. So 2 years or 3 years down the line, one day he calls me at his office at Science and he said, Chris, so your next level, have you prepared? I said, Bro, you need like 6 memos. You need like this. You need like this. Do you have them? I said, I don't have one. He said that, hey, you need 6 and you have 0 second year. Then he said that, okay, fine. We were 3 people. Next week, submit this. He gave us the deadline. He will do it and give you the. By the time the year ended, I had 10. And so when it was time for my promotion, I could submit the document on 31st. I didn't miss anything because somebody called me. He called me to his office one day and said that, are you sure you are preparing for your next level? Because I was working. I wasn't looking at my personal group. So that is how my trajectory has been. Some people spoke into my life. And one of the people that spoke into my life was Dalomoti. He actually mentored me. And not me alone, our team. He became our mentor. And then he would have a criteria. What do you need to do for the next level? Do you have it? And all those things. So generally, that has been my career progression. As for the others, I'm sure other people will talk and then we can feel it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Kennedy.
Mine is a little different from his, because I do not have a certificate in the work I am doing, yet I have years of experience in it. So from education, my first diploma was in entrepreneurship and finance. And then after school, I started work after national service. And then someone came to speak to me about this advertisement of a new airline company coming to Ghana. They needed air hostess, grounds, flight attendants, and other stuff. So it was a childhood dream I once had, that I wanted to be an air hostess. I applied. I left school. I had started my degree then. I left school. I applied for the job. I went for the 3 stages of the interview. I passed all. And then I moved to Accra for the training before we actually start the work. And then 6 months into the training, they asked all of us to go back to where we came from, because the company had an issue with Ghana Aviation Service, and they are closing down. They are taking the aeroplanes back to UK. So I came back to Kumasi with no work. I had stopped school, thinking that when I'm in Accra, I'll continue with another school. So I came back looking for work. And the one I got was in a hotel, which was never part of my plan to work in a hotel. But that was what was available. And then my father gave me this memory verse, Colossians 3:23, that whatsoever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord and not unto man. So that was what I held on to, and I started working in the hotel. I started from the account section. I was interviewed about 3 times. They didn't even know which department to put me into. So in the hospitality, there are about 7 or 9 departments. It depends on how big the hotel is. There's that of the maintenance department, there's front office, there's F&B, which is the food and beverage, there's kitchen, there's housekeeping, and then security and other stuff, IT. So I was interviewed about 3-4 times. They didn't know where to put me. And then the accountant said, "Me hwɛ n'anim a obetumi ahwɛ sika so. Nti, mompɛ na me deɛ mepɛ." So I started from the accountant side. I did that about 3 years. And then I moved to the sales and marketing department of the hotel. And then from the sales and marketing, I moved to the general manager. So with the number of years to get into the general manager, it depends on the hotel. Mine was in the span of 10 years. But in other hotels, it can happen in a short span. It depends on your qualification, education-wise, and then your experience. With hotel, experience is more important than the certificates, because you can go for an interview with someone who has 2 years experience but has a master's in hospitality, and another person who has a diploma in hospitality but has 7 years experience. That person will be picked over the one that has a master's, unless it's a field of, let's say, accounting, the accounting side, that they will take the certificates over the experience. Aside that, the other departments dwell on the experience more than the education side. But that does not mean when you want to work in a hotel, you don't have to pursue your education. I have a diploma in entrepreneurship and finance. I have a degree in administration. I majored in HR. And then I have a master's in monitoring and evaluation. Different fields, but I can say all of them come together and make the work beautiful. There are some places you apply the M&E. There are some places you have to manage people, the people you are working with and the people who are coming to your office. So in all, I applied everything I learned and it came together. But that does not also mean that you can be going left and right and thinking they can come to the center. If it is hospitality you want to do, you have to be doing internships while you are in school, and then do the right courses in hospitality, and then it will come together.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. Mr. Brobe.
So, it's funny and it's unique looking at the two speakers, where they are coming from. And that puts the whole beauty of this discussion. I'm from the development field. If I talk about the development field, I'm talking about working with the international organizations. For example, like the US Aid, that's the US International Development. We have other countries with a similar aid. Like the Germans, they have the opportunity, the Dutchland, that they call the GIZ. When the Canada, they call the Canada Affairs. Denmark, that's the Danish aid, that they call it Danida. So these are the international NGOs. So that has been the area that I've been working with. I did agric, and my agric is not by default. I purposely to do that course. So from SHS, I did general agric straight to the university, even though my dad was not happy with me, because he thought that I could reach science, because the results from JHS, at that time it was JSS, it was very good. So why will I opt to do agric at the senior high? So I continued on to the university, and I did general agric. Then we couldn't specialize. So you find yourself doing soil, doing crops, doing animals, econs, extension, sociology, accounting, and that is agric for you. You do all the courses. So by the time you are out, you are a jack of all trades. So right from completion, I find myself in the financial institution. So that is where I did my service, and specifically with the credit department. So I was understudying the credit officers, going out, gathering information, underwriting credit, making financial analysis, appraiser. So that is the foundation of now. If when he was reading the profile, you could hear of agricultural lending and financial analysis. So that was the basis when I got. So after service, I was retained, and I worked for like a year. But I realized that I was not okay because I couldn't utilize what I learned, the agric that I learned. So I was so I tried to, even though I was still with the financial institution, so I tried to do something unique. So I remember that I chanced on some group of farmers who were into rabbitry back then in Accra. And I talked to them, and I realized that it was profitable because they had the hotels as the off-takers of the rabbit that they were raising. And there were quite a number of people. And when I talked to them and I looked at their cash inflows, I realized that then I can do something for them. So quickly, I put together some proposals, and I sent it to the head office here in Kumasi. And I remember very well the chief operating officer called me and he said, yes, I've seen the proposal. It's good, it's fantastic, but we are a typical group lending, targeting women, who are doing petty trading in the market, and these are the target people. So he will get back. A month has passed, 2 months, 3 months, it doesn't come. So then I started, seeing that no, I'm not really being happy with what I have learned. So I prayed. Some of these things I prayed because I told God that I think that where I find myself, I need to get something that will really satisfy what I did in the university. So I prayed to God, and I remember just after a year, I landed on my first project. Though the money was good, I was happy, not because of the money, though I was being paid dollars. I remember very well. And that was my first USAID project. It was Agricultural Development and Value Chain Enhancement Project. It was a 5-year project, and we were called upon. So the finance part with the agric background blend, that really gave me a competitive edge. So we went for the interview. I realized that, hey, this is a guy who is coming from a financial background, and he has a background in agriculture. And what they were also looking for, they were also looking for someone with a financial background that could really, help the businesses or the agri-businesses that we'll be working with, or the farmers. We help them, we put their books together, then we link them to financial institutions. So that has been the space I've worked for more than 10 years. The project will end, then a new will come. We'll still apply. You are there, they will call you that there's a new project and we need your expertise to come on board to help agri-businesses to improve their businesses. So that has been my trajectory with respect to where I am now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kwarteng.
Okay. I read A-level in Presec, and then I came to the medical school at KNUST. After 6 years, I completed and did what was the equivalent of like a national service. We call it housemanship training at the Kofanochi Teaching Hospital. And then after the housemanship training, you become a medical officer. So as a medical officer, if you want to train to become a specialist, then you join what we call a residency program. So I joined the residency program for the West African College of Physicians. It took 3 years, and then I became a specialist. So my residency was in child health. So I became a specialist in child health, a pediatrician. Then I did a fellowship for 2 years. So to move from specialist to consultant, you should have a fellowship. After the fellowship, I also did another 2-year training to become a pulmonologist or a respiratory physician. That was in Cape Town in South Africa. And after that, I came back home. So that is the space in which I've been practicing, basically as a respiratory physician. And subsequently, I joined the university in 2020, so as a senior lecturer. So that is the space I've been working in.
Right, thank you. Do we have our lawyer on the line? Do we have our lawyer? Okay. So our lawyer is, I think he's speaking. Okay. So while we wait for the submission of our lawyer, I'd like us to move on, and then when he's ready, we would come back to him. So let's talk about the first stage of every process, the searching process. You know, for people who are just fresh out of school looking to get a job, and for those who are thinking of transitioning. So I'll start with Elder Brobe. So Elder Brobe, if someone wants to get into the agric or the agric and finance sector, where do they search for available jobs? How do they search for available jobs?
So, first of all, what I will say is that you first of all look at your experience, and based on experience, there are a lot of search tools that you can also tap into. For instance, when it comes to the development works, there are a lot in the devnets.com. You have divex.com, and also at LinkedIn.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, I said DevNet, that's developmentnetwork.com.
DevNet.
When you Google or you go to the net, you have a lot of the international development jobs out there. And Divex, DEVEX.com is also a development portal. And especially when you also go to the LinkedIn. The LinkedIn, what you do is that per your experience, you put your CV, but the CV is such a way that it should be on point, because people are just there to look for people with experience, people that they can recruit. So you put them actually what you've done and what you've achieved. So these are the three main areas. Fine, I know in Ghana, jobs in Ghana, when you go to jobs in Ghana, you looked at the international development. You know, jobs in Ghana, they have a lot of the areas. So you looked at the agriculture, or you also looked at the international development or management development. You click on those link, you will get, if there are vacancies available, they will be there for you to look at what they are looking out for.
Right. Ms. Kennedy, how does one search for available jobs in the hospitality department?
With hospitality, you would have to apply at the hotels or agencies that sought for hotels. Because most hotels prefer the agencies because they have trained the people already. And then when they need to sack the person, there's an immediate replacement. So most hotels prefer the agencies. And then because of the money they take, not everybody can go to the agencies for work. So you can also walk into the hotel, put your letter there. When there's an opening, you'll be called for an interview. And then there are consultants also who consult for hotels, and the hotels rely on them for people to work with. So you'd have to look out for those consultants as well.
So how do we look out for the agencies and the consultants for the hospitality business?
They are all on the internet.
Okay.
You can search for agencies that recruit for hotels.
Okay.
Some of the hotels, when you go, they will show you the place that go to this office. That's where we pick our people from, so you can apply through them.
Okay.
We can't just pick you as a walk-in.
Right. Okay. Elder Chris, for someone
And
who
then
wants...
there are social media pages as well.
Okay.
Most of the hotels also post their vacancies on their social media pages.
The hotel social media pages?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. So for someone who wants to work in the university, I know the university has a lot of sects, but for a beginner, an entry-level person who wants to work in the university, how does this person go about searching for available jobs in the university?
In fact, working in the university, it's because of the numbers and then the availability. And there's what they call clearance. So before a university employs these days, there must be clearance. The clearance means that the government has agreed that KNUST or whichever university will have 100 slots. It's just an example. So then they will give it to the university. Now, when the university gets that 100, they look at how many lecturers we want to employ out of the 100, how many administrators we want to employ, how many maybe laborers, transport, all the various, so they divide it. If you want to work in any environment, mostly the core duty of the people, that is where the priority goes. So if you get to a banking field and you are a logistics person, if any opportunity comes, the first group of people that are considered are the bankers. In the same way, in the hospital, the doctors are the number one because that is their field. In the university, it is the lecturers, it's teaching and learning and research. The others, like us, we call ourselves support. We support the teaching and learning. So to be able to get in is a bit difficult. If it's a new university, they would advertise and then you pick it. But for the traditional universities, because of the employment situation over some time, almost every time there's what they call backlog of people there. There could be some people who have worked for years as what we call contract staff. And then they are ready to be employed when there are openings. And so don't aspire for, I'm not saying don't aspire for the bigger one. You can try. So if there's an opening and they advertise for, let's say, assistant registrar, the possibility that an outsider will get one might be, let's say, 2 to 5%, because already you have like 50 or 100 people waiting for 5 slots. That's how it has been. So if you take KNSC, for instance, the last junior assistant registrar's appointment we did, we had like 6 slots, about 60 people applying. And the 60 people who are applying, they must have gotten their masters, worked for over 10 years. So to enter is really, really difficult at that level. But you can start at the baseline. The baseline is the casual, the admin assistants, and those ones. And as you go on, you build on to your next level. If you do well and you serve well, you might go to a junior assistant level. And then when there are new universities, the new universities mostly offer, because they might not have backlog of staff who are waiting to be employed. So that is how the university system really, really works with the administrators. With the faculty, if you have a PhD, you stand at an advantage. And even that, there must be clearance and vacancy for you. And mostly, if your area is a specialist area, when I say specialist, I don't mean specialists as in doctors alone, but specialists. So you are a logistician and you are humanitarian logistics. Everybody is just the normal one. You stand the bigger chance of getting the offer when it's done. So that's how the university works. Unfortunately, that is how it has been.
All right, thank you. Dr. Kwasi, health is a very diverse sector, and sometimes it's easy to think, as doctors, the pathway is cut and dry for you, the most secure way. But for someone who is looking to get into the health sector from various fields, from allied health through to... So, they can't hear. Yes. So for someone who is looking to get into the health sector, can you briefly speak about how they can search for available jobs?
Okay. In the health sector too, you would find job openings on LinkedIn. So
LinkedIn.
Yes, so you can look there. But I think if you, in the health sector, maybe you graduated as maybe a degree, you have a degree in nursing, you are an optometrist, you are a medical laboratory scientist, you usually would have a first opportunity at a national service. And usually that's where I would encourage people to give up their best. Mm-hmm. Because mostly, after your national service, if you've done very, very well, even if there's not an immediate opening, usually the person you worked with would have a way of wanting to keep you close by, so that if there's a job opening, you would hear about it first. I get a number of service persons every year, and that's the first thing I tell them, that because we also have to do research. So that's where we usually would have the team we call research assistants. And for the research assistants, I always encourage them to give off their best. So sometimes, last year we had about 5 in our team, but they were all so good. And God being so good, there was something that came up. So I retained all of them. And so they are still, and because I still want them to be in the system. Thank God, 2 of them are in COP, so they are not in PIWC, but they are in, so it was helpful. So although they are just completed their service, looking at their interest in health, so most of them came from biological sciences departments. But I've realized that another good opportunity is to have like a public health master's. So for now, I've gotten one of them who has started, so that, because usually if you have something like that, then another time when there's another project, you could come on as, let's say, a project manager or a data manager. So I think usually the national service is a good starting point. I always encourage people to give off their best, so that whenever the 1 year is over, then the people you worked with may be willing. So mostly in the health sector, that's how people come in. And the 2 of them also want to go to medical school, so they can still join. If you have a first degree, you can still join the medical school through the graduate entry program. So the 2 of them who are interested, they are saving money from what they are earning, so that next year they can enrolled. So you don't really need to graduate as a doctor to work in the health sector. The health is very diverse. So there are so many opportunities. But I think whenever you enter, try and give off your best in the area that you are working in. So these are gentlemen that really work hard. Sometimes we have to go to Offenso to collect data, go to Techiman. So they really work hard. And afterwards, the recommendation they will get from the team also helps them. So I think national service is a good area. But in Medicine Direct, what it is that you don't always need to see patients. I think the young people find that as not very enterprising. So you can move into private practice. You don't need to do anything academic. You can move into public health. There are lots of physicians who work for the WHO, UNICEF, and some of those organizations, even Danida, as he mentioned. So it all depends on where your interest is. And I think most doctors now don't really want to be at the bedside, but that's okay. You can actually move. So from mainline medicine, you either become a pediatrician, an adult physician, and all that. Apart from that, there's so many other people can go into health administration. You can join the army. You can join the police service. So it's really diverse. That's one good thing about health. All kinds of health workers can also develop their career along that path.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kwasi. I've been notified that our lawyer now. So to our lawyer on the line, can you?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. So can you tell us about the available, ranks in the legal system and how to progress to the senior levels briefly, and then also tell us how one who is willing to enter into the legal sector can search for available jobs. What available tools are there in Ghana?
All right, thank you very much. And good evening once again to everybody. I'm happy to be in the company of such esteemed Christian leaders. So to your question, I think for us as lawyers, our profession is regulated by statute. That is to say that everything that we do, there is a law telling us what to do and what not to do. So the ethics of our profession make it such that you cannot even advertise your services. Like other companies can go online, go on Facebook, and even mount billboards in town and all of that. For us, we cannot do that. The law prohibits us from engaging in, we call it soliciting for services. So it is your work that serves as your advert. So if you do a good work, you will get more recommendations. So first of all, it's about referrals. If you offer legal services to someone and it is satisfactory, the person will recommend and the trend keeps going on. But then again, within our profession, we have avenues to network. Okay, we have our bar conferences and other career development events that help us to be able to network. And then LinkedIn, as my fellow panelists have mentioned, LinkedIn has now become a global platform where your LinkedIn profile serves automatically as your online CV. So anyone who is looking for people to fill certain roles will certainly come to your LinkedIn page, and read what you're about, get to know your profile, get to know your educational background. So it is important that we build a strong LinkedIn presence. That is very key. To become a lawyer, as I said, everything is regulated by statute. And so you'd have to go through the undergraduate education, usually 4 years, typically 4 years, if you are coming from SHS. If you have a first degree, it can be 3 years, it can be 2 years, depending on the university that you decide to go to. Then, after you are done with the undergraduate, you have to sit for the entrance exams to the Ghana School of Law, which we properly call Makola. So once you pass the entrance exams, then you'll be admitted into Ghana School of Law for 2 years. After the 2 years, you will be called to the bar. For us, we don't graduate. It's a call. You are called to the bar. And so once you are called, the law also states that a fresh lawyer who has just been called to the bar has to undertake 6 months compulsory pupillage. And pupillage is some form of internship where you are associated with a law firm for 6 months. You'll be going to court, you'll be drafting processes, you'll be learning from your senior lawyers. And after you are done with this 6 months compulsory training, then you can apply for your bar license. And that is what gives you the authority to offer legal services in Ghana. And once you become a lawyer, ideally, you are associated with a firm. So as a junior associate, you are learning, you are handling cases. And then with years of experience, you can become a senior associate. You can even become a partner of the law firm that you are associated with. Or you can decide to establish your own law firm. Okay, that's also another possibility. Some lawyers decide to branch into business. Some decide to go into corporate leadership. Others choose to go into academia. Or you can decide to establish your own law firm. Okay, that's also another possibility. Some lawyers decide to branch into business. Some decide to go into corporate leadership. So others, these are the options available for a lawyer. And then to be a lawyer, okay, as a lawyer, with your license, you can practice in many fields. You can handle different cases. But if you find a niche that you want to specialize in, you can definitely further your studies, your master's, PhD, and then improve upon that niche that you have found. But if not, you can practice for as many years as possible with your license, which by law you have to renew every year. So those are some of the small details about the career progression and then how you can end up to become a lawyer. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you. All right. So, because we are short for time, let's move on to the skills. So, what would you say are the top 3 skills we as youth would need to enhance our search for jobs and then even enhance the ability for us to be competitive candidates for jobs in health? Let's start with Dr. Kwasin.
I think now the world is information technology. So broadly, you should have some knowledge, good knowledge in IT. I think that helps, whether you are in health, and specifically for health. Skill sets, health is a bit specific, so depends on which area you have come out of. But broadly, I think whichever area you came out of, you should be open to learning more. Okay. Health thrives on research. So whether you are in the nursing field, you are in the medical laboratory field, you are in the medical field, some information, some knowledge in IT, and then being willing to support research would be helpful. That's what I would say. And I think a little bit about sometimes doing a bit of volunteer work is also helpful. So as a young, I actually was a medical student when I started collecting data for some seniors at no cost. So I did that up until I even finished as a house officer. They would just call me, Sandra. This is 22 years ago. Malaria was the big thing. Every day we had about 10 cases of malaria. So what I did was just go and fill questionnaire for them, ask questions, Mommy, how old is your child? Things like that. So, and that was how I developed my skills in my field. Then the next job offer that came up, there was a malaria vaccine trial in Agogo, and I got the position just because the people who were the main people were the ones I had done volunteer work for. So sometimes that is also a way to build your skill. Just stay in there, see what people need. In health, if you have any skills in statistics, we really like that because most pure health people are not extraordinary when it comes to statistics. So when we see the biostatisticians, we are very excited. So that's an area that people can develop their skill set and then be open. If you are a medical laboratory technologist, you have some information, public health, biostatistics is helpful. If you are in the nursing field, public health, biostatistics, you can build from there. And mainstream medicine to biostatistics, public health. So an area in that, but I think IT now cuts across. You should be computer, you should know what is, maybe go to the Chris to learn some skills so that because now we don't even write in patients' folders anymore. So everything is computerized. So that is a skill that I think if you have or you can build, it will help. And you don't need to pay for it. On Coursera, there's a place called, because I'm sure Dr. Chris knows more. You can have a lot of certificates without paying $1. So that will be an area that most young people, especially during your national service. I realize that a lot of young people, when they have the national service, they are not moving a lot. So from 8 to 4, people will just watch videos and videos. That's a good time to find some online courses to build your skills. But I think IT and statistics for health is really something that helps to start off.
Right, thank you. Elder Chris, so top 3 skills.
I think that if I'm looking for anybody to work with, yesterday I said it, the first skill I look for is that the person is teachable. Teachable. You may not need to know everything because I don't know everything. So I don't expect you to know everything, but are you teachable? Can I teach you? So sometimes at work and at church, there are different things. At work, I am, they know me, you will deliver because there are targets that are set for us. So when national service come, I give you a set of criteria to meet. And the first thing I would ask of and these are the skills I'm telling you. I will need you within the first month to draw your budget and send me a copy. I create a folder. So the medical school people, they are lucky because the time I got there, the service is already there. So I interview my service people. You send me your budget, your monthly budget. I'll review your budget, your tithe, everything. I'll look at it. Then I monitor you to check whether you are. So if you are earning $740 and you are always ordering food, it means that you come and ask me for money every time. I have to make sure that you learn how to live within your means. So it will not be possible that if you order, you have to hide it because when I see it, I'll talk. Because you have given me your budget and I know what you do. The ladies I've worked with over the years have been wonderful. And they even know the hair you do, I'll ask you the price because it has to be in the budget. It's your own budget, it's not my budget. So that's the first skill, planning your finance. Then the second thing is, which courses are you doing in the first 3 months, Coursera? You need to show me a course you have done. And they know, once we all agree, if you don't do, I won't sign your service allowance for you to get your money. Whoever you bring to tell me, I won't sign. And I don't sign. And I've refused to sign for people a number of times. Your monthly money you won't get because we all agreed that you do these things. Then you also need to prepare your CV. You need to, and I have to see your CV. And you have to get your certificates. For me, the service people, they do it. For the number of years I was at ELN, I have everybody's certificate, a stamped one. Your transcript, I need to see it. Your proficiency in English, I need to see it. Your statement of purpose, you need to write, what are you about in life? I need to see it. Of course, I don't demand them together at a goal, no. We all agree that this month, this is what you are submitting. This month, this is what you are submitting. This month. And even to the extent that I know your money starts coming January, February, you must get a passport. Your ID must be scanned into your Google folder. You should have those skills. And then finally, by June, July, you should have built a correct LinkedIn profile. And I will check. If you don't, I won't sign. And I remember one of the ladies came. He went to bring somebody that I have not signed the service allowance. And when they listened to the story, I said, "Abase, wa no bow. We kitikiti we koye we na on side." So these are the things I require of you. And then build your soft skills. You cannot be in a room where you don't know people. It is wrong. You can't be in the youth where you don't know that if I need banking things, why should you suffer? If you need law and there's a lawyer here, if it's an optometry issue, I have grown to learn that if I need an apostle number, I have an apostle on the phone. If I have numbers to the extent that even as a for market, those who sell fish, I have a fish, the person who sells fish, a number. So me, if I'm going to buy fish, I don't struggle like you. I call Sister here as a for market. I'm buying half carton. This is what I'm buying. You need to build network. Don't walk alone. If you are drawing your plan for your building, if you finish university, you should have known an architect. How could you finish 4 years without knowing any architect? It's an error. You should know people from other tribes. Me, if I go to Ho, I know somewhere. If I go to North, I know somebody. So don't build a closed system. Know people, because you see, they will recommend you. And to conclude, I told somebody that my first travel outside the country, it was under a mango tree. Somebody said, now crowdy way salt ya so wait me across Switzerland nibi. Who passport me say me wo. I'm personal me but now as I cat 3 months now. But in say me wo, then of course I knew somebody at immigration. I just pick a call immigration, somebody. Policeman. I know policeman. In fact, the guy who came to help us with Jim here, I took his numbers years ago, and every time I call him, once a while. So it makes life simple. If it's painting, I have a painter. If it's a designer, you have it. On your phone, you send messages to. If you don't build these soft skills, trust me, you can't go far. See, when I wanted to do portrait farm in my house, ask him. I gave him headache card that because he's skilled in it. Why should I struggle to know something he knows. So please, build your skill. If it's mine, ask around. I do again, I'm calling her MasterCard. And then I ask her, what should we do? I say, oh, you say, okay, I'll bring them to you. Then I learn. That's how you do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Kennedy. The mic was tossed to you, so.
Okay. In my field, we offer services. And then what will make your service different from another hotel's service is experience. Because if it is chair, the other hotel has a chair. If it is a bed, they also have a bed. So the difference is in the experience. So I always tell my people that we are not selling the hotel. We are selling an experience that will make the person come back. So there are some skills I will look out for, which are the soft skills. I'll look at communication first. You'd have to know the kind of person you are, who is approaching you. Let's say you are a receptionist. An elderly person approaches you and is a lecturer. You should put your English together. Speak correct English. Don't sound local. Yes. If it is a white person who is from a different country, at least learn the first languages, that is greetings from other countries. From my previous hotel, an Indian man came. He was giving everybody trouble at the reception. I was now with my shift, so I was going to drive. And I saw him, he was talking so much, so I just greeted him, Namaste. And then he turned and calmed down, and he started talking to me, and I told him, that is all I understand. And then he started explaining why he was furious. So from that time till his stay, from the end of his stay at the hotel, I was the one he was speaking with. He wasn't speaking with anybody. Just Namaste that I said. So as a receptionist, you would have to do that. The hotel will not take you through that school. You would have to learn it on your own. At least learn the first greetings of about 4 languages so that when people from that country approach you, you know how to calm down. When you're a Ghanaian and you go to another country and you hear someone speaking Twi, just because of the language. So that can also work for you. And then you know the caliber of people approaching you. I don't know if it's Ghanaian. Sometimes we look at the appearance of people and then we use that to give them respect. We use that to measure the respect we have to give them. In hotel, you have people in shorts and tiny T-shirts. And before you know, they are those owning the companies, bringing the conferences and the big monies. But they come in dressed in that way, and then you think that they might be just a facilitator or a driver to the big man. So knowing the people, the caliber of people, don't give don't cap the respect. Don't let it be the same. There are some people, because of the money they are bringing. There are some people you have to be stern. There are some people who come to the hotel thinking this is an informal grounds for all immoralities. Whether such a person is coming to buy something with another intention. Why did you come to work today? To make money for the company. So if you have to be stern with this person and get the person's money for company, you have to be stern. And you want to say, Madam say, I am in so that at least they can pay money. So you know who to be stern with, and then who to be informal with, who to be laughing with. So these communication skills, the company will not take you through. You have to learn them on your own. There are videos on the internet showing all of that. There are podcasts on that. And then we have to attend seminars. Don't wait for your company to pay for a seminar or workshop outside the office for you to go. I attend seminars, I pay myself. You come back and you know that you meet people there, they share their experiences, and some of them talk about things you are seeing in your office, you are seeing it as a big problem. Then someone talks about this and you realize you can say any issue. I could have solved it this way, or make friends. The network he was talking about, it is very important. It opens and closes doors for you. Okoka baby, you can call someone. And then time management. With hotel, you have to learn time management because we run on shifts. You don't have to be late for your shifts, and so you can close early. And then with the programs we have, if you, the person working in the hotel, you are not managing your time well, it will affect the person bringing their business. If the one in charge of banquets is not looking at the time, and then kitchen is late with the food, it will affect the program, whether it's a wedding reception, whether it's a conference lunchtime, it will affect the whole program because with conferences, let's say the time for lunch is 12 to 12:30. They are going back into the conference room after 12:30. And the lunch delays for 15 minutes. It will disrupt the whole conferences. And there are some groups, they are very particular with their time. If you miss 10 minutes, you never have their conferences in your hotel again. That will be it. You give all the explanations. They won't take it. So time management on your part, and then you educate the person also bringing their program as well. Obo wa onim se Ghana man time, onim se lunch 12, onim se munwi to amamo 10:30. And then we also finish the food at 10:30. Some of the food cannot sit for that long hours. It will go bad or get contaminated. So you also educate the person bringing their program that if your lunch time is at 12, that is the time we are going to provide the food, and they will stick to that.
All right. Thank you, Miss Kennedy. Elder Brobe.
All right. So in the development field, I would say it's a bit, it's wide, it's broad, because you have a lot of skill set within my area, because you have, as Doc said, the IT, you develop yourself, because definitely when it comes to development, it's about two things: implementation and reporting. So you have people that are implementing the activities, and you have another people that are also reporting. So if you are within the IT space, develop yourself. Chris was talking about MIS. Yes, we need it within the development space, because when we do all the work, they have to report. So the data analytics, the Python, the SQL, the Tableau, and develop yourself. I used to tell some of people that give yourself time, just learn, develop yourself within that space. And when the opportunity comes, and they looked at your experience or your CV, definitely they will come for you. So you look at the MIS, the monitoring and evaluation. When I remember when I got the opportunity, agric background, working as access to finance person, then it means that I have to now really work on the financials. So the financial modeling, I had to give time to it. The understanding the ratios, the MPVs, the ROI, return on investment, how to do the MPL for businesses, the financial statement, understanding it, how, if you're making a decision out of it. So I needed to really give myself into that, because I come from a great background and had to add also that. So all that I want to add to that is that look at what you are doing. How can you develop yourself? Make sure you are on top of whatever you are doing. In the space, you need to be good in proposal writing. That is one key. If you are looking at a good person that can develop a good proposals, business development for businesses, and it's fetching. People will come, will consult you. Oh, I need a business proposal. I need a business plan. Develop yourself. Come out, develop a good business plan for businesses. That when it goes, you release that, oh, no, this is a top-notch business plan. You look at also coaching, mentoring, how even to assist the businesses in terms of advisory and investment advisory to them. So these are some of the skill sets that I think in the development space you need really to work on it. It's rather unfortunate that you ask some of the young guys that even the course that you are doing, what do you want to do? And they are confused. They don't know what to tell you. The course that the person is doing, he doesn't know what even the person will be doing. So please, let's develop whatever skills. And we have to learn short courses, go for conferences, listen to presentations. What are the things that are coming out? What are the new trends? Opportunities that are coming? Can I get myself? Can I learn a different thing? Forget about whatever maybe you've learned in the university. As Edna was saying, what she is doing is not what she learned in the university. You learn whilst you do the job. So please, this is the advice that I want to give, that we need to develop ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Broby. Then we'll take our final submission from our lawyer, Nyaku. Yes, so, Nyaku, what
Yes.
skill set?
I'm really enjoying the various submissions from our panelists. The core skills that, for me as a lawyer, are critical. First of all, is analytical thinking. Because for us lawyers, we offer solutions to people. Offer solutions in different areas. And so it is important that when someone presents with a set of problems, you need to really think through and offer a solution that will help the person. So for me, that is the key skill that is important that we look at. Then, as Chris was talking about, resilience, flexibility, and agility. Okay, men can say I learned this, so that's all I'm going to focus on. We have to be flexible. We have to know so much of what is going on around in our communities, such that whenever there's a problem, we are always thinking about offering solutions. Then now in our sphere of social media, leadership and social influence is a great skill that we have to acquire, because as we are on social media sharing content, as we are gathering the likes and the shares and all of the reactions, we need to build our leadership skill and social influence. Okay, there are people now who are converting their followership into adverts, getting revenue from adverts, and a whole lot of issues. Then, one very important skill for me as a lawyer is curiosity and lifelong learning. Every single day is an opportunity for us to learn. We can never stop learning. We have to be curious about everything around us. For me as a lawyer, I do engage in a couple of businesses, and these are things that I didn't learn in school. It has nothing to do with my background in French or even with my current profession. They are things that I learned on my own, and now there are several platforms. So for us as young people, there's Allison, there's Coursera, as has already been mentioned. There is YouTube. YouTube is a great platform where people are sharing knowledge every single day. There is X, where people are sharing videos non-stop. So curiosity is something that should drive us in all that we do. We shouldn't sit down and not care about what is going on. So every single day, for me, I got into cybersecurity a couple of years ago, and ever since now, I've become known for training others in cybersecurity, digital safety, and these are things I never learned in school. It was because I was curious and I was really interested to learn about some of these things. I studied French for my first undergrad, and I went into teaching a little bit, but for me, it wasn't exciting. I was curious to learn other things, but I didn't want to throw the French away. So what I did was I created a business out of it and offer bilingual services to individuals and to companies, to organizations. Okay, so it's something that I still do. I get gigs. It takes discipline. Motivate yourself. Be aware of yourself. What are you capable of? Don't take on too much. Okay, it's important that you motivate yourself, you push yourself to be the best version of yourself. And one other skill as a lawyer is empathy and active listening, because we get all kinds of cases, criminal cases, civil cases. And when a client comes before you, as you are listening, you are taking down your instructions. You have to actively listen. And as you are listening, you'll be thinking through the solutions you can offer the person. The World Economic Forum just came out with their Future of Jobs report, and I would recommend that we all download copies and read. One very important skill, which is fast growing, is AI and big data. And for me, I am an advocate of AI, that as young people, let us harness the power of artificial intelligence to solve a lot of problems. Okay, we can create businesses out of it. We can do, the opportunities are limited. Okay, AI and big data. That is where the world is going in the next 10 years. By 2030, AI and big data, networks and cybersecurity, technological literacy. It is not enough to just hold a smartphone or have a computer. It is key that we learn about prompt engineering, we learn how to use ChatGPT, how to use DeepSeek, and a host of artificial AI tools which are coming up. So these are the important skills that I believe we need. And I would recommend the Future of Jobs report 2025 for all of us to go through and see where the world is leading us to.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Nyagu. So he recommended that we check out the Economic Forum, Future of Jobs, and then see some additional skills over there that we need to look at. Thank you. And we'd like to thank our panelists, but before we go, Elder Chris Addo has some additional words.
Yes, please, I just forgot this one, but it's important. These days, when we are picking people, we check all their social media profiles. All the people I've picked for the last 3 years, the 50, if I receive 50 applicants, I have a team who will look at your LinkedIn post, your Facebook post, your Twitter. If you have insulted somebody, you've liked a nasty comment, you've written, we drop you. And then we continue. So please be mindful of what you post out there. It's very important.
Yes. So I think that's a perfect way to end, to be mindful of our profiles, our social media profiles. And let's also remember the tools that were mentioned earlier: AI, social media, Coursera, and most importantly, LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn ran through all the submissions. So if you haven't built a LinkedIn profile yet, I think when we close, you can see any of our panelists and then ask them how. We'd like to thank you all so much for listening to us, and I hope you've learned a lot along the way. Thanks to our panelists, and God richly bless you for the time you spent with us. Let's give them a round of applause.
Now, I wanted to add the CV.
Yes.
So what I want to say is that the CVs, please, it's like I'm giving you 5 minutes to sell yourself. What will you say? So please, it is not about the quantity or the pages of your CV. No. It is the content, because it is selling you. If there's opening, you have about 200 people that are applying. And when they are going through and they want to shortlist, they will look at the CVs that are well organized, that is speaking. So you have your experience, your roles. You need to put your achievements because it will be selling you. And please, in all this, don't forget the God factor. It is important because it is God that has placed these skills in us. And it is God that will determine where you will be or determine your situation. God bless you.
God
Amen.
bless you.
Please give it up for our Watch to them. See you. We've all developed valuable skills. Put up. Hello. Yeah. So someone.
Hello.
So we have to have a knowledge about IT. Right now, where the world is going, it's all about IT. So you have to get some skills about IT and also build your communication skills. And don't forget the God factor as well. So at this juncture, we'll take our offertory while I read the announcement. Okay. So God willing, tomorrow dawn, we meet at 5:30 a.m. for Destiny Hour to 7:30 a.m. Please make it a point to be here. Yeah. And next week, Monday as well, we'll be having youth service. And then the time is 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. So please don't miss out. Let's mark our calendar for our first quarter prayer, that push, pray until something happens. It's going to be a powerful session and none of you want to miss, so make it a point to be here. The time is 8 a.m. in this auditorium, 22nd. It will be a Saturday here. And let's join the school's outreach ministry this and every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. for an outreach to Lobab Academy and others. Thank you very much. I'll hand over to our president.
Praise the Lord. Youth,